Hello, welcome back to Barefoot Mycology. My name's Ethan, and today we're going to kind of be discussing the basics of, excuse me, I'm a little sick, of fungi and what they do. So to begin, fungi are nature's recyclers. They break down dead organic material, including returning nutrients to the soil. This process is vital for nutrient cycling, allowing plants to absorb these nutrients for growth. It's kind of like they're cleaning up the forest floor, turning fallen leaves, dead trees, other organic material back into soil. Following that, they have symbiotic relationships. Fungi often form symbiotic associations with plants, algae, and even animals. The most well-known mycorrhizal relationship between the fungi, the most well-known mycorrhizal relationship is between fungi and plant roots. Jeez, I can't even read my own notes. Here, the fungi increase the plant's water and nutrient absorption capabilities while the plant supplies the fungi with carbohydrates. This mutualistic interaction is a win-win. Plants get better access to nutrients, and fungi get their food. Fungi are also a food source. Fungi themselves are a source of food in many ecosystems. Numerous animals, including insects, worms, small mammals, and even humans, rely on fungi as a part of their diet. There are diverse forms of fungi, from mushrooms to mold, that provide a banquet for these creatures. Kind of an example of one that is edible. I don't necessarily have I got my prop chunk of chaga here, but also this is an example. This is a chicken of the woods. It's another mushroom type, and all this white stuff right here is the mycelium, and the dish that it's in currently is called an agar plate. Now, this agar dish is basically a bunch of mold food. So what I did was I took out a small cutout. When you're growing mushrooms, you want to be clean with everything. So in order to get this sample, what I had to do was I had to sterilize a razor blade or an X-Acto knife, cut open the flesh of the mushroom and remove some of that inner flesh and put it in here, because if you were to take the outside of the mushroom and put it in your agar dish, you might be growing things other than the particular fungi you want to grow. So this is an example of mycelium in an agar dish, chicken of the woods. I picked it in August. And this, is an example of mycelium in an inoculation bag. So the inoculation bag brings me to the next point, because fungi actually help with soil structure. And what this is made out of is just a bunch of loose, sterilized rye berries. Now, I can smack it and it sounds really solid. So all that mycelium is actually holding this into a solid structure. And with that being said, by decomposing organic matter, fungi help maintain soil structure and fertility. Their mycelial networks bind soil particles together, enhancing water retention and soil stability. This not only benefits plants, but also helps prevent soil erosion, which is a huge deal nowadays because of all the monocultures that we're planting, just destroying the fucking earth. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not upset. Anyways, fungi also play a significant role in the carbon cycle. They help sequester carbon in the soil, thus playing a part in mitigating climate change. By breaking down organic material, they also release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, a crucial step in the global carbon cycle. So one cool thing about fungi is that, very similar to us and animals, they breathe in oxygen and they exhale CO2. And this will be covered in the life cycle of the mushroom video, but in order for this right here, to start growing into mushrooms, it needs to have oxygen present, which in later video, I will do a video on how to grow them and whatnot. So I'll cover that then. But by breaking down organic material, they also release carbon dioxide back into the breathe in O2, exhale CO2. And finally, they indicate biodiversity. So I'm pretty sure the last number I heard from Paul Stamets was that there are, I think, 5 million species of fungi. So the way they can indicate biodiversity is because these, like, mushrooms are, or fungi in general, are very sensitive, and they require like very perfect conditions to grow. So for instance, when I was growing pink oysters, they like to hang out at around 73 degrees with, I want to say, like 70 to 85% humidity. So when you are putting, so when you're, so say it's like 70% humidity and it's 70 degrees, right? In that environment, any sort of mold, fungi can grow. Or I shouldn't say can grow, but more than likely it will. And because like there's so many species of mushrooms, they're all filling a particular niche. So for instance, chicken of the woods, I want to say it grows on oak. So that particular mushroom will break down oak and say, where is it? Here we go. You may not be able to see it, but this is a container filled with alcohol and ghost pipe. Now, ghost pipe is not a mushroom, but it's a plant that has a symbiotic relationship with fungi, and this is found underneath white pine. So you got to think, like, if, say, I have two things right here that each grow like specific, that grow in a specific area, you multiply that by a couple million, right? That's a lot of diversity and a lot of niches that are getting filled. So those are kind of the basics of fungi and what they do. So with that being said, I'm going to call it a video here. I'm working on the life cycle of the fungi right now. And kind of where I'm at with it is I'm unsure if I want to break it into parts or just do one long format video and figure out how to edit. But we'll see. I'm not entirely certain, but it's the third or fourth video, so I'm not getting too upset about it. But with that all being said, Barefoot Mycology hopes you have a great day. We'll catch you later.